Okay, cool.
Are we live?
Yeah, great.
We're live.
Thank you everyone for coming, for joining in person, and for everyone online. Hi, my name's Ravi. My pronouns are he, they.
And I'm Elle, and I use they, them.
And this is the info session for our XYZ project here at Gasworks. It's the participation artist residency project, and we're here to tell you all about it and see if you'd like to be involved. So, next slide. Matty's helping us on the slides. So just a bit of an introduction of who we are. Like I said, my name is Ravi, my pronouns are he, they, and I'm a transmasculine GP trainee working in the NHS. And do you want to introduce yourself and your practice?
So I'm an artist, and I have a background in anthropology, so sometimes go by tranthropologist. Makes sense. And I'm kind of interested in playing with information formats and sort of queering the production of truth.
And so together we've created XYZ Projects, which we work together to make healthcare art, essentially, visual art mostly, to raise awareness of issues that LGBTQIA plus people face in healthcare, but also to reimagine what that care can look like and what the future of that might be. And so our first project, Maddie, if you want to hit the slide, was Dr. XYZ, which we made in 2024, and it's a satirical GP information film that actually functions as a training film to help GPs improve access to gender-affirming care, both kind of socially and medically. We can play you just a little clip of the film now, just a trailer of it, and then we'll, if you want to stay at the end, we can play a longer version, but for now we'll just play you the clip. Maddie, if you want to hit it. I think you just click on
I see.
yeah.
We have your attention, Dr. Mess.
We need you right now to upskill yourself
If anything goes wrong, I'm not responsible.
and your practice staff
Oh, my best friend is trans.
to help combat the discrimination that trans plus people face in general practice.
Now, let's take a trip as our story makes a turn through an anthology of healthcare experiences and see what we can learn.
So that's just a little clip of the first project that we made, and like I said, we can show you the whole film at the end. If you want to go to the next slide,
I
Matty.
see. We have.
Just a bit about how we made the film, and this is where you all come in, and we'll come in with the next project, which we'll get on to. But essentially, we did an open call out to the trans plus community in Birmingham, and then we did interviews and discussion workshops and focus groups about people's experiences trying to access gender-affirming care through their GP in Birmingham. And we recorded everything, we made transcripts, and then we kind of brought the transcripts and sort of like an initial idea of a script back to the group and had this script writing session in which we kind of went over the main themes and the main messages and how we were going to use the transcripts in the film and how it was going to be functional and everything. And it was actually at this session that the participants were really told us they were really keen to act in the film as well, which we were not expecting. And so that was really lovely. So apart from the drag artists in the film, everyone else who is talking about their experiences are the actual participants that we interviewed. So they were kind of, you know, involved in the making of the thing from the beginning to the end. So that's kind of how we want to work in the future, is we want to keep this model of involving people from the beginning to the end, and whatever the final outcome is, it's a collaborative thing that we've all made together, and we all have a say in how that's going to be made. And we're trying to improve on that by being sort of less hierarchical, more kind of lateral thinking with everyone involved. So I'll hand over to Elle now to talk about the next project, which will be using that same blueprint for a different project.
And also another note is Ravi has actually used the film as part of like some teaching sessions that he's done in different hospitals and GP practices. So there is that layer where we're trying to make stuff that is sort of playful and kind of allows us to create these sort of community healthcare archives, but then also we're trying to make stuff that educates the healthcare system to improve services.
And I've actually got another one coming up on this Tuesday. So to the GP trainees in Tower Hamlets. So that's just a start of like hopefully where this kind of stuff can go in educating healthcare professionals. But sorry, just before you go on, I just want to say, like, we actually have had so much pushback trying to get the film, like, actually into the NHS for training and things, and various hurdles and hoops we've had to jump through, and kind of just being completely blocked off from even certain scenarios. And so now it's like, okay, we asked for your help the first time very nicely, saying, please give us our healthcare, and now that you're not doing that, it's kind of like, fuck you, well, maybe we need to be a bit more abolitionist with our next approach. So that leads us on to the project coming up.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Is the right... can we have the next
slide, please. Thanks.
Or back one? Yeah, perfect. So this is For Living and Dying Otherwise. And it's a sci-fi project weaving alternative tales of aging, transition, and becoming. And essentially, we're sort of thinking about the concept of the care home that is a pre-existing institution in our public health system. And essentially, it needs to be abolished for the way that it currently operates. And the way that we sort of see the next step is for us to think about an otherwise. And in order to do that, looking to the genre of sort of spec fiction sci-fi can be a very useful aid to imagining that otherwise. I think often it feels like when you're trying to invite people to imagine these otherwise, you get very bogged down in the realities of the current healthcare system. You very quickly sort of find yourself falling in the pits of what's the point in sort of thinking about this, because this isn't the reality. But the point is, we need to create these spaces to dream, to think about what these other blueprints could look like, to even have that point of reference to start making it a reality. Next slide. Great. Yeah, I've just said that, I guess. And maybe next one. So, those who control the fantasy possess the future. If we do not imagine ourselves into the world, we will be imagined by it. So, essentially, we feel a lot of the time when thinking about these images of the future, trans, disabled, queer folk, those who are the most marginalized within that community are often left out of these visions of the future. We're not really written into them, and we don't have the same kind of sense of agency when we think about what growing older will look like for us. So essentially, could I get the next slide? Thanks. We want to begin with locating this next line of inquiry into the UK care home, which has a legacy of institutional violence and oppression for many people who enter it. It's sort of understood that the beginning of care here often means the end of individual agency, and in the case of TLGBTQIA plus folk, going back into the care closet. So this project is essentially about wanting to contribute to the visualizing of what one of the many alternatives are that could exist to the current reality. Next slide. So the plan for this project is to have a series of 5 workshops where we'll essentially play a sci-fi world-building game to design characters, systems, and amenities of an alternative future care home. And there'll be a sort of range of activities. Some will be role-playing, responding to different kind of healthcare-centered case studies that might relate to members of our community and what different experiences of aging could look like, and what a care system that accounts for those experiences could look like. Next slide. So part of this visualizing of this alternative care home will be centered around designing an architectural model that will sort of house these alternative systems of care. We're going to be working with Scar Barkley, who's an architectural designer from Disordinary Architects. They're going to sort of help us through a series of design workshops that will essentially work in time with the world building game. So essentially, you'll come to the workshops, we'll introduce the world building game, and I could say a little bit about what the sort of setting for the game is, maybe?
Yeah.
So the game starts that you receive a message from a secret society of futurists. You receive this wavelength while you're sleeping, and the wavelength comes into your dream and you respond. And I guess it's not fully understood why you can hear this message but other people can't. Maybe it's because you're trans, who knows? But essentially, you're invited to come to this secret location. Every 14 days, you meet, and you're given access to a time machine. This time machine will help you embark on a series of quests where you travel to different points in time and space, and you look at relics of the human's care system. You'll explore, say, the privatized care home model from the 1980s. You'll walk around the ruins of this place and think about what will you decide to bring to this future care home? What will you discard and what will you transform? And this will essentially be what builds the model of the alternative. So this is what will be happening over the 5 workshops. And then, next slide. This model will essentially become the setting for a radio soap. So think The Archers, but trans and queer. Could I get the next slide? So, radio soap. Expect The Archers, but accessible sex swings. Death to the forced continuity of the self. Non-linear aging. The trans-medicinal gardening. Dementia as transition. Polycules as care webs. And a luxury hormone spa. So...
On that note, any questions?
Yeah, next slide. The room is open for any questions, so feel free, if you're tuning in online, to type anything into the chat. And yeah, take a few moments to take it all in.
We have a mic here if anyone does want to ask any questions.
Oh, yeah. I'm a bit thirsty. Got any? Let's put the music on while we wait. Is everything okay?
Great.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Everyone understands perfectly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
great.
that as-
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Whilst you were asleep,
So,
so who knows why,
it's-
but
it's old
there. Yeah. And I guess just more of a logistical thing. The workshops will take place at Gasworks, so
That's the secret location with the time machine.
yeah. So they'll be happening at Gasworks. I guess if people want to come but can only join online, I'm sure we could try to make that work. Obviously, we want to be flexible with however people can attend and want to contribute. If you feel like you've got great ideas, but the game and the workshop thing isn't for you, then that's fine. Still get in touch, because there's definitely other ways we can contribute. But yeah, that's the general heart of it. And then the only other thing is that between each of the sessions will be every other Saturday approximately, and then we'll have reflection sessions, which are kind of just more chill drop-in sessions that we can have on Zoom or in person, where you just kind of come have a cup of tea and we can reflect on the last setting of the game that we did, or some ideas or thoughts that you've had since the previous one, so that we just have more time to touch base and kind of be collaborative.
There will also be a series of sort of special guests that will come and help us design different aspects of the care home. So, yeah, there'll be kind of one that's specifically looking at dementia care. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Oh, would we?
There's some questions online as well.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Already answer your question though.
Say that again.
You already answer your question right now.
No, we're just talking away.
I'm gonna.
We're just yapping.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so we've got a question from Jimmy. Have you got a schedule for the workshops yet, and how do we sign up?
Great question, Jimmy. So we do have a schedule. It'll be starting on February 7th, and it will be every other Saturday from February 7th. So I think it's like the 7th, the 21st, and then so on and so forth. I don't know how to calculate those dates in my head.
But if people want to sign up, it's best if you send us an email to info@xyzarchive.com, and maybe we could put the email in the chat so people can just copy that in. And we will send you the full breakdown of when each workshop will be happening. And you can sort of decide if you want to come to all of them, if you want to come to a few. But yeah, it's best if next step, anyone that wants to come and join, express your interest, and then we will let you know the deets.
Yep.
Another question is, how will the radio soap opera adapt the workshops? Will it be based on it from that? Would it develop into something more extensive, or what is the intention? Love the project.
Very good question.
Very good question.
So that is a very good nudge to say that the world building workshops will all be audio recorded. So there'll be no cameras, but there will be a mic rolling. And it will be very likely that we will take elements that are recorded from the discussions about the world building directly into the soap. And then essentially we'll have the sort of basics of the script, and we will continue to develop it with a couple of writers, and then bring it back to the group essentially to workshop it with whoever is interested in the writing element of things. I know that there's sort of several mediums that I guess might interest different people. So if the kind of model building aspect interests you more, then it would be great to maybe hear that in your expression of interest. If you're more interested in the soap writing, then let us know, because it'd be really good to get a sense of who's kind of more interested in what. Or if you want to do all of it, then 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
Another very good question.
Yeah, so we've done another info session at Tonic Housing. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. They're the UK's first LGBTQ plus retirement home. So it's for residents, I think, mostly over 55. Obviously all in the LGBTQ plus community, and we've got a couple people from Tonic who have signed up. So we are going to meet with them and then maybe do a little bit of a one-to-one interview with the people from Tonic about they'll be one of the case studies actually of this is a place that already exists. We can see the relic of it, and we can kind of, with the members of Tonic, both critique and celebrate and kind of transform what Tonic could be to be even more inclusive. And then whoever else wants to join, obviously from this session, we'd love to have you and kind of create that intergenerational bridge, if that makes sense.
Is there going to be any outreach to the local queer community?
We really want to. We just need to think about the best way to do it. So yeah, we kind of want to go about and just take some of the flyers around to different places. So if anybody has any ideas of the best places to go, then the RBT? Yeah, definitely. We are kind of prioritizing trans experiences, and so yeah, I think that will definitely be a good place to start. But also any sort of local meetup groups that are kind of trans centered would also be definitely prioritized as an outreach point.
And we found a couple of the local, Maddie's helped us find a couple of the local trans meetup groups as well, and LGBTQ plus meetup groups that we've sent the flyer outs to, so are hoping to get some more interest from them.
Yeah, but that is definitely the second phase of outreach that we'll be doing next.
Sorry, do you mind repeating the last question just for someone online? Just into the
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
It was, what did I ask? What is the outreach going to be like in terms of I think I asked who you were expecting, hoping. You talked about Tonic, and I asked if there's going to be further outreach.
Thanks. I'll also just read some more questions from the live stream.
Okay.
So Claire is asking, is this for all LGBTQ plus people? Are cis people welcome? Are old people who don't know about gaming welcome?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's open to all. We will be looking through all the expressions of interest, and we will be prioritizing global majority trans disabled experiences on the whole within this project, but everyone is welcome to apply. Was that the rest of the question?
Yeah, the rest was the other part of the question was about gaming. Yeah,
Oh,
you don't have to know anything about gaming.
No.
We will be kind of facilitating a sort of role play world building game. So whilst it's in the context of a game, it's really just bring yourself and your ideas, and it's kind of just more of a way to facilitate discussion, really, as opposed to needing to know anything about how to play games or board games or D&D or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
It's just to sort of position this conversation in a sci-fi realm so that people don't kind of get stuck in the reality of the day-to-day and can sort of think a bit more outside of what the current system is. But the game will be very simple and accessible. I get very confused by lots of gaming rules, so it will need to be for me.
We have one more question.
Yeah. Cool.
What kind of information do you need, would you like to know in an expression of interest?
Good question. Just a bit about you and why you're interested in the project. That would do.
That really will do it, yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Is that all the questions?
Amazing.
Cool.
Cool.
Does anyone else have any questions in the room? Great.
Lovely. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thanks for coming and
Thank
for
you for
listening.
listening. Cheers. And we'll, see you in the game, hopefully.
And feel free to like email Ellen Ravi. I've put the email in the chat if you have any more questions as well.
Totally.
Yeah, thank you.
One, but it's more stylistic. Sorry. It's more style than substance. What are your retrofuturism inspos?
Whoa.
Wow.
What? Yeah, I mean, just like as a concept in general, I think is really relevant, and it's sort of, I think it relates to this idea of like being nostalgic for futures that we hoped for that didn't quite materialize. I guess it's kind of hauntology vibes, right? So I think in the game, some of the mechanics will be sort of exploring these ruins of the care system, uncovering relics, and speaking to ghosts. So it could be that we speak to a ghost from another future that didn't quite materialize. So that sort of layer will definitely kind of be in the game. Thank you for asking the question. Cool.
Lovely.
Okay. Can't resist.
Should we sort of leave the live stream for a bit, just in case anyone sends any questions in? But like,
Yeah, maybe just put.
monitoring it.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
did you want to watch the film?
Oh yeah, we could stick the film on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that. Thanks.
For outreach stuff, have y'all heard of Jason Conde? He wrote Revolutionary Acts, Gay Black Brotherhood in Britain.
Okay.
He interviewed like loads of older black gay men about like their experiences and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But he's interviewed like a lot of elders in the community, and he might know of people to contact.
That'd be great.
There's a concern where. Fuck. I have a slight concern for how a lot of like these the demographics represented often end up being very white,
Yeah.
myself included, because that's who turns up
Yeah.
to these callouts a lot. But Jason Akunde made a project specifically about gay black elders, and he must have spoken to a lot more people than made it to the book. That maybe he has some leads on people that would be interested in community projects, recording stuff, and
Yeah.
producing stuff for it.
That's
Cool.
a really good
That's a
idea.
great idea,
Yeah.
thank you.
I really want to read that book. It sounds amazing.
It's what got me into actually participating in community projects, because I did not know how they actually work, what their timelines are, and what people do within them. So it's been very neat.
Okay, great. Yeah, we did also previously at the very start of when we were doing the aging salon interviews in Birmingham. We were trying to think of ways that we could reach people that aren't sort of able to come in person to workshops or kind of necessarily keep up with the demands of a project like this. And we actually set up like a voicemail service where we kind of sent posters out with the number on it, and then people could essentially call the voicemail, and like they would hear a prompt that would be something like, what are your hopes, dreams, fears of aging in the UK? And then they would leave an answer, just like as like a verbal response. And I'm kind of thinking that if people can't physically join all the workshops, it might be that we choose kind of a prompt that feels like the most sort of important thing from each workshop, and then put it in the voicemail service so people could call and then like respond to it that way as well. So there's definitely sort of things we could do for people that might want to make remote contributions as well.
Okay, should we play the film? Great.
Yeah,
Well,
great.
I'll come over sit on the side here.
Content warning. Please stand by for a healthcare service announcement from Dr. XYZ.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. We interrupt your programming to bring you this important public healthcare service announcement. Transgender and non-binary people, aka those under the Trans Plus umbrella, are suffering within the NHS. And whether or not you like to think so, at the hands of doctors like you.
I see we have your attention, Dr. Mess. In this short training film, we will equip you with effective and affirming practices in social and medical support. Now, let's take a trip as our story makes a turn through an anthology of healthcare experiences and see what we can learn.
I do find it quite difficult to access healthcare, partly because of the bad experiences I've had it before.
The doctors always seem a little bit baffled that they're seen as this kind of scary thing that they have to pass. It just amazes me that they still haven't quite figured out that they are seen in that way for transgender health.
I've been subject to things, quite serious things, because I was visibly trans. And because I hadn't had medical transition yet.
I wish they knew that this is life-saving treatment. It isn't just, I've decided to wake up one day and do this. It's I need this or I will die.
We need you right now to upskill yourselves and your practice staff to help combat the discrimination that trans plus people face in general practice.
I started transitioning about 6 years ago now. I lived in a very well-to-do neighbourhood at the time in Coventry. Every single person who went to this particular GP was slightly older, of the British diaspora.
Dr. Mess's surgery, how can I help? Mr. Smith, what's this regarding? Your erectile dysfunction? No problem. I've just put your testosterone in a repeat prescription for the next 7,000 years. And there, your blood tests have all been scheduled for you, Mr. Smith. No need to worry, Mr. Smith. You go right on existing now. Thank you so much. Bye now.
I remember booking the call, having the conversation with the receptionist.
Hi, I have an appointment with Dr. Mess. It's for Mia.
Mia. Oh, right. Here you are. You're here regarding your...
Gender-ish. Yes?
Take a seat over there, please. Mr. Mess will be with you shortly.
Even before being seen, non-verbal cues such as gender-neutral toilets, the trans-inclusive flag, and social support leaflets can help trans plus people feel safe and accounted for.
I used to be really suicidal, and at one point, I attempted to take my life. This got me seen by a GP, but it didn't make all those difficult feelings go away.
Dead name, please. Misgender dead name, please.
The GP offered me the option to change immediately, which I was very pleasantly surprised about, and then just continued to completely ignore it and still dead name me and misgender me, calling out at the reception.
Come through, please.
My GP was very much fixated on the idea of being cishet. I already had my own biases around this and wanting to conform. The early part of my transition was all about us being as passing as possible.
When I would go to see any medical professional within the NHS and private sector, I would be in high heels, a pencil skirt, makeup, a blouse, a bra, to try and get them to see me as what I needed them to see me in order to get the gender-affirming care that I needed.
Now, are you ready to note these down, Dr. Mess? Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of these interactions. Do introduce yourself with your own pronouns and don't assume theirs. Do offer to change their correct name, title, and pronouns in your administration system. A person does not need to have undergone any form of medical transition, nor do they require a deed poll to do so. Do ensure other members of staff respect this change. Do take a proper history. This includes how long they have been feeling this way, what support they are seeking, and what their goals are for transitioning.
Don't ask unnecessarily invasive questions about sex or genitalia.
Oh dear. What a mess, Dr. Mess.
They immediately lit up when I mentioned gender dysphoria. And they were like, yeah, cool, I've worked with patients with that, so it seemed really optimistic. And then, like, I tried to explain how I felt, and the GP was just like,
I've seen gender dysphoria in other people. I'm just not seeing it in you.
And then they just made some comments about, like, my nails and my hair and stuff, and they were like...
You know, you can just be a feminine man.
Tried to, like, argue a bit more. And they were like...
Yeah, not to discredit what you're saying, but because of your previous autism diagnosis, you might just be confused.
Autistic people are always made to feel as though everyone else knows what's best for us, including, like, GPs and anyone in position of power.
I tend to kind of not talk about my autism in terms of accessing other care, because I feel like there is a risk of that. I don't want to say infantilizing, but it is almost like that, where they're like, oh, are you sure? That's a big thing. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm autistic. I wouldn't do change unless I really wanted.
Do believe people when they come out to you. Don't assign their gender dysphoria to mental health or other disabilities. Similarly, don't attribute unrelated health issues to their gender identity.
It's very interesting how many medical professionals jumped wanting to blame your transness for any issue you have. It's like the opposite of a panacea, and I'm having to like explain minority stress to them to get them to understand why, yes, my transness does cause me occasional distress, but it's not the transness itself, it's society's reaction to the transness that causes the distress.
Minority stress is a well-established framework that describes poor health in marginalised people due to health inequalities and wider determinants of health. Studies have shown that trans plus people of colour experience transphobia from healthcare providers more than twice as much as white people.
I feel like being a person of colour, people treat you differently. Like you're not completely in control of your own situation, especially being neurodivergent. It's another thing on top of being black. It's like it gives people a warning sign in their head to think, oh, this is the person we need to control, essentially.
I feel like I'm seen as a problem a bit quicker. I try and be like quite like assertive, and I don't know if that's something that like hand in hand with being a black dude influences how they think about me.
Do incorporate anti-racist structure into your surgery through mandatory training policy.
Resources on the intersection between gender and race will help develop affirming practices.
See Black Beetle Health for a variety of useful toolkits. Finally, do make a referral to the GDC. Don't refer to a psychiatrist first, and don't refuse this referral on the grounds of your own personal judgment.
And they said, before we put you on the waiting list, we're going to refer you to a psychotherapist and a psychiatrist.
Just to, you know, double check this is what you want.
When I saw the psychiatrist, he was like,
I see you have mental health issues. Now, before you decide to transition, I think you should deal with these.
And I was like, that's the whole reason I'm having mental health issues. Dysphoria got really bad. I thought maybe I'll be seen in a couple of months. But then I saw years and I thought, what am I going to do? So you start to look at alternatives, like self-medicating.
The waiting thing is a little bit depressing. it gives you anxiety too, because they could call you and give you maybe on the next 2 weeks or in the next 3 years. You never know.
With waiting lists of up to 7 years, do signpost to local mental health, voice therapy and sexual health services, and do consider a bridging prescription. A bridging prescription is a prescription for hormones that you, the GP, undertake and monitor while waiting to be seen by the GDC.
But Dr. XYZ, I can't undertake that responsibility. I have no training in that area of medicine.
I thought you might say that, as 71% of GPs do.
Every time it comes to the months of like, I need to get my hormones, they'll do everything to be like, no. Every time it feels like we're re-explaining ourselves, and they'll be like, we don't do that, or like, I don't know what this is, and we're like, yes, you do, because you did it. And I'd like you to do it again, please. I spoke to someone on the phone who said that in the time of waiting for this referral, I could get hormones. And they were like,
We do shared care, but somebody else needs to be monitoring you.
right, I don't really have that at the moment.
Because basically we don't know enough about trans people to be able to help you on our own.
Well, that really sounds like your problem, but okay.
We will prescribe you testosterone for now, but you need to sort this out because we can't help you.
Right, okay. You want me to be monitored by someone else?
Yeah.
Great. Can I be referred to an endocrinologist in this place?
Yeah, sure.
And in the time that it takes, will you prescribe me tea? Because it might take a while.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. See you later. Bing. And then I ring back a few months later, which was earlier this year, and I'm like, it's that time again. Woo.
Yeah, no, we can't help you.
But you said that you could.
No, I don't know about that.
I was like in the waiting area in the GP, and I was talking to the receptionist, and I was like, hey, like I need this prescription. And some guy, some doctor is like very nervous, and he was like,
If anything goes wrong, I'm not responsible. I'm going to try and get someone else to deal with this in the future because I'm not sure about all this.
I had a really long chat with the manager of the practice, and I was really angry because I was like,
I don't understand why you aren't training your professionals on my body, trans bodies, and what we need.
Well, my best friend is trans.
That makes this worse. I don't care if your parents are trans, if your friends are trans. I need your assistance, and you're being unhelpful. People like you are the reason why people aren't getting to the place that they want.
I wish GPs could just prescribe to trans people like they do to cis men with erectile dysfunction, or like postmenopausal cis women who can just get estrogel or like patches without having to lay themselves bare and prove themselves.
It's dangerous sometimes to try and be yourself and then have to fight for that for so many years and then still try to legitimize that in the eyes of everyone. It's like, oh, well, why haven't you transitioned yet? Like, I'm trying.
As our time together draws to a close, let's reflect on what we've learned. We have provided you with the XYZs on communication, social support, and bridging prescriptions. You have the tools now, Dr. Mess. With them, we invite you to go forth and improve your practice, both within your own consulting room and throughout your surgery.
Good luck to them, and to all of you future trans plus allies within the medical community. We welcome you with open arms.
Wait for the yes!
Kat.
On the live stream whilst the film was playing.
If anyone has any more questions, I think we'll end the live stream soon.
Yeah.
So please feel free to send them through now. If not, you can send them on email.
And again, the email is info@xyzarchive.com. Cool.
Jimmy says, thanks so much.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Appreciate you. Maybe we'll see you soon. Thanks.